you're full-time in real estate and you've had your taste at single family, flipping, wholesaling, single family rentals, decide to you need to go bigger, and that's how you get into land development and multifamily, or was it first multifamily and then land development?
Yeah, multifamily. When it comes to land development, we're actually by, I guess, accident, I should say, or lucky accident.
Okay,
I
so you're
got
moving the multifamily direction at this point.
Yeah, it's all multifamily. The thing is, we were buying 7 units in Bradenton. It's outside of Sarasota. And without actually realizing, we bought 7 units, but 8 acres of land was attached to the property. And we realized the potential of it. The potential was to rezone it for multifamily and build 96 apartments. So I didn't plan or want to be in land development, and I
Mm-hmm.
still am not sure what's going to happen there. It's a small JV. We've done it with 5 other friends, and the value is not in apartments, it's in the land. So we can rezone, sell, or rezone, partner with a developer, or just do it ourselves, raise
Mm-hmm.
enough capital, partner with a developer, build. So we're not sure what we're going to do yet. We're in the process of rezoning. It should be done by October of this year, and then we'll see how the market's going to be. And we're really not sure of the exit strategy. These are the two potential exits that we are considering right now.
Yeah, and that's good. You have options. So, if you were to redevelop or just develop them, that's and that pans out, that's great. But the ability just to sell the land, since that's where a majority of the value is currently,
Mhm.
presumably you can take that to either pay off debt or return capital to any investors you have, like yourselves or any other investors, and use those proceeds for other opportunities. So multiple exit strategies, I love it. I tell folks like flipping too. It's like, especially in this market, like if you're gonna flip, like make sure it cash flows. If you have to keep it as a rental, ask me
Yeah.
how I know that. I've had some flips that didn't quite sell for what I needed to, so they're rentals now, and eventually time makes those bad deals makes them okay.
Yeah, it works out. It works out, but I strictly focus on multifamily because it's
Mm-hmm.
my thought is this: basic human need, right? Food, clothing, apartments. People got to live somewhere. So if they cannot buy, they have to rent. They're not going to be homeless. So I'm just providing a service here, and that's why I strictly focus on apartments. I don't want to spread myself too thin, be very focused in one market, in one area, like in Texas, Houston and Dallas, right? I'm not gonna venture out anywhere else. I buy it. I want to know everything in that market, everything in that area, and specific buy box. Not just jumping all over the place, but really, really focused on a particular thing, and so we can execute our plan.
Love it, love it. So tell me about your first large multifamily deal.
Yeah, somebody came over to me and they said, "How about you be an LP in the deal?" And I said, "I don't want to be an LP. I want to be a co-GP or a GP." And the conversation took like 10 minutes. Basically, the guy was trying to raise money. I didn't even know what it was at the time. He calls me back a few days later and he goes, "If you want to be a co-GP, how about you speak with the operators and try to raise capital and be investor relations on the deal? Can you do that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can do that. Sure." So I spoke with the operators, with the main team, and we liked each other. And they go, "Well, how much can you raise?" And I said, "Oh, it's easy, 500,000." And they're like, "Well, you know what? How about you try for 200? And if you raise anything higher than that, it's all a bonus." So I'm like, "Okay, sure." It was 506C. It was 208 doors in San Antonio. I was very excited. I didn't know exactly the process, but I knew I could advertise, and that's what I was doing. I was going on Facebook, on LinkedIn, everywhere, and I was advertising this deal. I was going on networking events, on Zoom calls, and but and I had nobody interested. Maybe, and I know now why, but at the time I didn't. And I'm like, but the deal is so good. How come nobody's like jumping all over it? And somebody said, well, why don't you try your friends and family? Not a single of my friend invested in this deal. Not a single person. And I know them for 30 years, and they have money. And I realized that they're not investing in the deal, they're investing in you. So they just didn't believe you that you could execute this, that you're the new guy. Maybe you're too desperate. So combination of those things turned off investors. But on one of the calls, I saw one person who needed to do a 1031 exchange. And I contacted him directly and I said, hey, listen, we have this deal. We accept 1031s. Would you like to take a look at it? And he said, yeah, sure. So long story short, he had $1 million 1031 and he took the deal.
Oh
And
wow,
so with one person, I managed to raise $1 million with the 1031.
nice.
So yeah, it was completely crazy. I wasn't even sure how the whole thing works. Of course, I was reading about it, educating myself like crazy because I'm educating myself on GVs and how the structure is, but specifics of 1031 and how it's transferred and the
Yeah,
whole tenants and common structure, it's more involved. You have attorneys involved, and I told everybody, listen, I want to be on all the calls, not because I'm a control freak or anything like that. I want to learn.
yep.
Please include me. I'll be like a fly on the wall. You're not going to hear from me. I'm just going to learn. And that's how my first syndication was.